Final Four is there, and I'm so happy it finally came out. As a matter of fact, I
Yeah,
think
that was a long time coming. Yes, sir. We just got ours. I think it was last week that we got the
yep,
our,
same here.
paper
Mine came
copy.
in a little bent because they wasn't
Oh
paint.
no.
Yeah, the edge of it, but yeah, that's
Uh,
it. And there it is. That's like that's a shot
that's
there, man.
that's
That's money.
the shot. Yeah, yeah. That's
That's a
man.
shot.
We're so happy with how it came out. But from your perspective, what do you remember about that project and the experience as a whole?
Well, I remember being really ill during that thing. I was sweating like a pig. So I was what you guys don't realize is I was when I would finish work with you, I would go lay down in the Frederick's guest house just to try to make it through the day. I don't know why
Damn.
I was that, but the thing that was so great about working with you fellas, beyond the fact that you guys are you're both comedic professional wrestlers,
This is
which I
true.
did not know a career existed. I like for those who are watching, these guys are actually professional wrestlers that are comedians at the same time.
So
Physical.
I would call it more of a lifestyle than a career because we don't get paid very much.
Well, I'm sorry, no one in a career gets paid that much, so it's a career.
Right.
Sorry, I hate to
Yep.
bust the bubble like that,
Right. Yep.
but no,
Touche.
that's so you're not getting paid much. They call that career where I come from, but
Actually, no, yeah, you're totally right. Meeting the comic book people for the past like
right.
7 years. That's very true.
Right. It's just what it is, man. I mean, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? So I enjoyed it. It exposed me to an aspect of Latino culture that I had not been exposed to before, other than on TV, and to work with dudes who are professionals at it. And to be able to bring my skill, because I love the fact that you drew it, Oscar, and it was, it had that flavor to it, and all I had to do is go in and add the tones and muscles and the lights, and you guys were open to me using 3D. Like a lot of
Right.
people don't realize the background, the actual wrestling rink is a 3D scene that you could rotate and all that. So that's how we did it.
That
And
was
when I
cool
did it,
looking at that.
I'm sorry.
Whenever you were that was cool looking at that whenever you were showing us what you were doing with that. That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's as an Afrofuturist, visual Afrofuturist, you're always trying to push and innovate and use digital technology to do your work, and I've been using 3D in my work for years now. Because like what one of my friends is like, well, why don't you just draw it? I'm like, build once, use infinitely. So that's the way I work. Sometimes I draw it, sometimes I build it in 3D, sometimes I render it out in the game engine, and lately I've been implementing AI into my work. So I use everything as a tool. Everything, nothing is sacred to me.
So you kind of glossed over something very, very important.
Mhm.
Please explain to the three people listening to this podcast uh, what an Afrofuturist is.
Yeah, so Afrofuturism is, I would say, the modality in which you blend technology, speculative modalities or fiction. It could even be nonfiction, but it's speculative thought and ideas, and you blend those two things together through a lens of race or black culture, or from the African diaspora. And that is Afrofuturism, and it could come in any form. It used to be, from out where where the spaceships at. Well, sometimes it don't have spaceships. It can be fashion, it can be written literature, it can be housing policy. As a visual Afrofuturist, I had the opportunity to work, a handful of times with the last administration, asking to participate in public policy initiatives that they had. And I know that sounds so weird me saying it, but they actually asked me. I had to go to DC like 2 or 3 times over like a 2 year period.
Wow.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, so it's really incredible because what it did was it let me know that one's work can rise above just being entertainment. It can actually affect public policy. As a visual Afrofuturist, I was very, very proud of that fact. And so there's that, and then it could be, you know, dance, music, obviously, comics, obviously, and obviously films, things like Black Panther, and it just really, man, just really, really opened me up to so many different things and opportunities. And Afrofuturism has changed and altered the course of my life. It took a long time to come around to that now, but because you know, for years it was crickets. But since Black Panther really hit, and an economy has begun to form around Afrofuturism, that I'm proud to say I participated.
We had to take a quick break for some technical difficulties.
It looks like there's a video lag on my feed, but maybe that's just over here. I don't know.
Oh yeah, just noticed that. It could also be like my just my internet, you know.
HEB internet.
Yeah.
No, it would be good if it was HEB internet. No, what am I saying? Yeah, because you know, if you can't afford the HEB internet, you get the Hill Country Fair internet, and it all comes out the same tubes. You know
It's
that.
the same one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's from the same manufacturing base, and it all contains wheat and peanuts as well. The internet.
I was talking to somebody on the phone, and I said, "Oh, I gotta go. I'm gonna do a podcast." And she said, "Ooh, where's the podcast?" And I said, "On the internet." And she said, "Oh, bye, smartass."
And now for the rest of our interview with Tim Fielder.
Perfect example of Afrofuturism is, of course, your book Infinitum. Just absolutely amazing work in that. Can you talk a little bit about Infinitum?
Right. Infinitum was labor of love, almost killed me, like most of these books do lately. But Infinitum was my first major, because, you know, I've done work over the years, but either the stuff wasn't published, it was so small, you know, bad it made a blip. But this was the first one published by a Big Five traditional publisher, like not a comic book publisher, but a traditional publisher. HarperCollins, Amistad, published it in early 2021 during the height of the pandemic, of course, which is very effective for sales. Being facetious by saying that. But that book was a reaction to a lifetime of tropes that exist for in Black culture. The Black guy always got to die. Yeah, he's either going to die just before the credits get rolling good, or just as the credits are rolling to end the movie.
Right.
And I just got tired of seeing Black characters die, be maimed, and mutilated to give the white savior their reason to be dirty, like Harry. You know, it always comes at the expense of a minority or a you know, that's the way the Dirty Harry movies work. You know, Harry always had a partner of color,
Yeah.
or a female. You know, it was always that, so that when they were harmed or injured, he could turn into the you know the vengeful cop. You know, but he was justified righteously, that type of thing. So I was tired of that. And I said I'm gonna do, and I love science fiction and fantasy, and I love big science fiction. So for me, it's like, okay, I'm going to do something where literally the Black guy in the book cannot die. He literally cannot die. He will not die. If you mutilate him, you cut his arm off, the arm will just simply grow back. It'll take a second, but it'll grow back after a little bit, a few years. That's what I wanted to do. But when in putting that, the story is effectively about a Black man who's a warlord, ancient African warlord, who, through doing something really horrible with his concubine or mistress, essentially taking that their child, to rule as his own with his wife. He is cursed with the gift. I'm putting up my quotation fingers here, of immortality. So he is forced to live throughout the ages without aging and without dying, seeing everyone he loves, uh, societies rise and fall. And I wanted to do a story that touched on as many different aspects of Afrofuturism over a kind of chronological time period, both in the past, the present modalities of Afrofuturism, as well as it projections into the future and beyond the idea of race itself. And that's what Infinitum was, and it was a labor of love. I think it's a book that has made a difference, certainly made a difference in my career for sure. But I think it's made a difference in terms of the Afrofuturist community. I think it has its place, you know. I think it's had its place with the best of the other Afrofuturist text out there, whether it be prose, whatever. I think it stands up to those things. The only thing that don't stand up is the binding. On the book, the binding is not that great. Like they didn't do the greatest job with the binding. But outside of that, I feel very, very proud of Infinitum. I'm proud I did that book. Very, very proud I did it. Because when I started on that book, I was 65 pages into it without a book deal. I was just working on it because I believed in the idea.
Yes, sir.
And that's how that came about.
And it's a very powerful book. When I first opened it up, I felt I was just going to read it, a few pages at a time, but it's super intriguing and it just hooks you, man. And once you get to that end, to the last several pages, it's just
Yeah.
it's just amazing to see it all play out, man. It's amazing work. And but when we were working on the Final Four project, you were also trying getting something set up. Was it at the Hammond House Museum? Was that the
No,
thing that
man,
was going on?
that was Carnegie Hall. That was
That was
Carnegie
Carnegie.
Hall.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
That
Okay.
was, oh
Yes.
my God,
Yes,
man.
sir.
That experience. I there was so much stuff going on that I think maybe I told you guys a little bit about it. I won't do it to protect the, careers and but it was so much oof. Let's just say the book publishing world is not for the faint of heart. But what I would say to any, without going into detail, that is as an author, whether you are a writer artist, just a writer, or just an artist, or both, uh, it is your responsibility to promote your book. You
Yeah.
must never accept that the company is going to promote your book. They'll promote somebody's book, that particular ones that sell really well, but the ones that yeah, they have they have great bones, great potential, but if they're not moving units aggressively, they won't put but only so much time into it. So it is your responsibility as an author to push you are responsible for your bibliography. You are responsible for the promotion on your book. And in this day and age, which a lot of the stuff that exists now existed back then, I sometimes kick myself that I waited so long to begin aggressively promoting the book, because I stream every day. Like as soon as I get off here, I'm going to stream. So I'll be streaming, I guess we'll talk for another 30, 40 minutes or so. And then by 8:30, I need to be streaming. I need to be working, and I do it 5 days a week. In addition to doing, and when I'm streaming, I'm not streaming, occasionally I'll do something that's like fun and, a deviation, but I'm actually working on my projects, the projects that I earn my living from. That's my theory. My theory is people want to see you working. They want to see you working. They want to see the work come together. It's like you go on YouTube and you see people building things. You stay with those people who build things, right? Because you want to see, man, they're building a house from scratch, or man, they've taken a dilapidated house and fixed it up, and it takes 3-4 years to do.
It could even be the guy that's like cleaning a dirty carpet, and people will
Exactly.
watch that whole process. They want to see
Exactly.
the process. Yes, sir.
Exactly. I'm gonna say this to y'all. I don't want y'all to get offended, but fine. It's better I do it. It's best I do it. You guys are professional wrestlers. You guys are literally professional wrestlers. I know, well, we're like amateurs. No, you're professional wrestlers,
Sounded just like me.
Yeah.
right?
Sounded
You're
just like me.
hey, all whining, it's not, is in the same octave. It cuts across cultures. Anyway, You guys are professional wrestlers. You should be doing your comics and wrestling at the same time. You should be streaming your matches and drawing your comics at the same time. Every day, 5 days a week. Who's going to do that?
That is true. Yeah.
And then
That
his
is true.
brother's too old. They my age or older. Well, I guess. I don't know how old Jaime and Gilberto and those guys are, but they're like my age. Maybe a little bit older. You know, they're in their 60s now, though, right?
Right.
They ain't going to do that. Y'all still young bucks, at least for a little while for longer, right? Because I know the kids are getting a little bit older, they're Oscar. So, you know, they take the life out of you. I get it.
A little
But
bit.
a little bit. But in the interim, you guys, and you say, well, Tim, I don't want to be fighting on screen. You should be wearing your mask in a constructed set that looks like the interior of a wrestling ring. And you are literally like we did. It's not like you haven't done it. I was with you when you did it. You guys collaborated in the same room. I was there. So eliminate me, you know, and put yourselves in that room and basically make your studio a wrestling ring. And you sometimes you demonstrate moves, physical moves, right? Sometimes you invite wrestlers on to draw them for reference. That's what you need to do. 5 days a week in the evening, because it's not like y'all know the entire community of wrestlers in the Southwest region, correct?
We know
So
people. Yeah,
close
yeah.
to. Yep. Yep.
Oh, these guys. You know other wrestlers, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Yeah.
Thank you. So start interviewing them. Start getting your job is to take Final Four and blow it out. And you see what y'all doing now? This is a TV show.
Yes, sir.
But add the wrestling to it. I ain't that sexy no more. It's not that attractive, right? Add that mask and the gold and the, you know, the
The whole pomp and circumstance of it
just
all.
do it, man. This is the show. This is the show.
Yeah.
This is the show. The direct sales market has crashed. And when it comes back, it will not be what it was. And it wasn't that much before. It won't be coming back to where it was. So you guys, I mean, I know y'all had y'all deal. Who'd y'all have y'all deal with again?
It was through Scout Comics and Chispa.
Right. Y'all still with them or you on your own now?
No, we've been on our own for a minute now. Yeah.
And it's gonna be that way.
Yeah, we had to pull back, and it was to your point about the promotion, because whenever we first signed up, like that's really what we needed help with, but that's the least thing that we got help with. So that's why we pulled out of that, and we said, you know, we have to just kind of fall on our own sword if we need to, and
Right.
it's been a slow go, but that is part of the reason why we did start this show, so we can get that ball rolling and get to where we get awesome ideas like the one you just gave us right now and have a bigger purpose for doing this thing. But
This is why y'all have to do that. Because there's somebody younger and more agile who will do it. Well, as soon as they hear it, they're gonna do it.
yeah,
And y'all still in y'all 30s, right?
No.
sure.
I mean, yes.
40s. We're in our
What?
40s. We're in our early 40s.
You better hurry up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can tell you as a man who's about to turn 59, it goes away. You better hurry up.
I like how you went from you guys got time to you better hurry up.
I said y'all had
by
time when I
hearing
told you
our
before, years ago.
age.
You ain't got much time left now. Better
Yeah.
hurry up.
Whenever, you know, we were collaborating and stuff, but then it came a certain point where, you know, I had asked for a couple times, you know, for advice or for your take on stuff that I was writing. But at one point you said, well, you're the writer, you know, basically like you're making that decision and we're drawing it, you know. And so that really resonated with me when you told me that. It let me know, it gave me confidence to be more in control of what I'm doing, and gave me more confidence to know that my part in the entirety of creating these comics is incredibly important, or is just as important as anyone else, you know. We all have our role to play, in creating these pieces of art. And yeah, I just drove that point home, and wrote it, and Oscar drew it, and you did backgrounds and everything else, and it came together fantastically, man. But again, it was that confidence that you gave me by telling me that.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate y'all saying that, but I'm saying it because nobody said it to me when I was that age, y'all's
No.
age. No one pulled me to the side and said, "Yo, Tim, you do this, 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 because you don't do this. This is what'll happen. As a result, you'll have these options. But if you make this alteration, you'll have these options." No one told me that. I had to figure it out on the job, and y'all got a lot of energy, a lot of positivity. You get it done, and is there some law that says y'all got to starve? I don't think there's a
No.
law that says, they're gonna starve. Yeah. It's like, no, that's not good. So yeah, no, we had to to do that. And the reason why, if I've coming on like about the idea that I was thinking about what you guys need to do is because that's the world we're in. The idea of, oh, well, you will send your press kit out to you know, PR or news aggregators, and there will be that just don't have the weight it is because everybody's online now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The age of the middleman is pretty much gone.
That's gone. That's gone. And I have a theory that we are slowly moving to a reduction. I mean, because there's so many people getting laid off now, I think we're moving to a reduction in 9 to 5.
Yeah.
What we're going through due to AI in the tech industry. And so trust me, I won't go into it. I just have, well, let's just say I have relatives who are being affected by it. They can't get work. And so what's happening is this technology is so pervasive and it's not going away. Anyone think, oh, it's gonna go? No, it's never going away. It's gonna be here. And so what's happening is it's disrupting industries much faster than they thought. And so what I believe what's happening is when you eliminate people from having 9 to 5s, most of them either have two options. They're either, well, three options. One, they change careers. Two, they starve. Or three, they become entrepreneurial. We are in a world now where the manufacturer and the promotion of your products are completely in your hand with this device that we're talking on now. And I think for publishers, like you guys, y'all heard of Whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Y'all need to be wearing a mask. I'm sorry. At this point, well, no, I ain't sorry. Y'all in your 40s, so any dignity y'all had is gone long ago. The kids got rid of that. So
For a moment, I thought you were gonna say they got to wear a mask because we're ugly. But
no,
the reason
you
you
have no
said that
dignity.
you said made me feel much
Yeah,
worse.
yeah, you have no dignity. You're professional wrestlers, and y'all got to go out there like y'all got to be selling.
Right.
But you just always be hustling. That's what y'all got to be doing, and you do it with your costumes on, the full costume, and you sell and you sell. I can't use profanity on this thing, but you sell every freaking day. That's what you got to be doing while drawing it, while writing it, from the
Dude.
sketches all the way to the finished product. That's what you're doing online. I've only been streaming, like I've like toyed with it off and on over the years. And up till recently, I never did long form content. But now I've started long form content. I do a weekly vlog that I'm actually editing on two now. So I'll put one up maybe tomorrow. Uh, but that's what I'm doing, guys. It's like it's kind of early days yet in terms of the disruption of AI. So now is the best time. It's like not everybody's figured out they need to be doing what we're doing.
Right.
But that's not that's not something that's 5 years off. That's 1 year off. And I'm talking about, if you are retired, I said it in my latest vlog that'll go up probably tomorrow. It's like if you're retired, part of your life should be vlogging. Should be.
Mm.
Yeah.
Your personal brand, your personal brand. You guys have been practicing your craft for years as cartoonists and as wrestlers. And again, your stuff is not just like overblown. It's intentionally ridiculous and absurd. It's comedic wrestling. That's
Correct.
who does that. Now, do y'all know any other cartoonists that do that?
Oh,
I
not
do
coming to
not.
mind.
No,
Yeah, because there
not at
aren't
all.
any. So,
Yeah.
you know,
And
you know,
that's again, that's part of the reason why I wanted us to start this particular brand, Real Scraps,
sure.
is to get to this point to where you're getting those ideas and you get that purpose and it's kind of like it's almost thinking out loud, as we put more of these together, it's like, okay, well, I liked this, I liked that, but what else can we do, kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's kind of a ground floor um, kind of thing right now, because I mean, if you didn't think the world changed after 2020, like the world is it's definitely changing now. But yeah, that's definitely something that we want to use this platform for, is to just to promote our stuff. And then again, the reason that we got out of that comic deal is because they weren't promoting. So this is, if no one else is going to talk about us, we're going to talk about us, and we're going to use this platform to do it.
I'll say this about that. I don't get so heavy on them anymore. They don't know how. It's not that they don't want to. I would imagine most publishers would like to be able to promote their stuff and it sell so they can become rich.
Yeah.
But they don't know how.
Yeah.
They don't know how. Someone will look at your stuff and say, okay, it's about Latino wrestlers and the guys who created a Latino. They have no clue. They have no clue as to where the readers are. Only you
Right.
guys have that. You guys, how do y'all still fight a lot, right? Y'all still do your matches?
Oscar
Yeah, I'm
does.
hosting a show in 2 weeks.
All right. Are you selling books there?
Shit.
Oh no.
Damn it. This is
I've been telling you.
Rolando has been telling me. I need to stock back up. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Shit.
hold on. Oscar.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the exact reaction that we got whenever we let Tim know that we were wrestlers back when we were doing the project.
Yeah.
Do you want money?
I want money, sir.
So you need posters, comics,
So, well, here's the
apparel.
thing. Here's my what do you call it? My half bullshit excuse. I am selling merch there, but I'm selling my wrestler merch.
Yeah, but do you have your cartoon wrestler merch?
No, that I don't have.
All right, see, look, you're selling that's good. But you and Rolando need to figure it out, create a character or series, an entire universe of characters, which I think you did in your other book, correct?
Yeah.
Why is it the guys who've been given this gift that say, I have to work hard and figure out I'm bald and stuff. I got no hair left. I got to keep my hair low because if people see it comes in. Why is it the guys who are given the gift young don't know they have it, man?
So okay, so Tim, this is what I'm gonna say. You know what this reminds me of, Rolando? Because this is the Realist Graps. It's comics, but it's also a wrestling podcast. This reminds me of the time John Moxley went on the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast, and Stone Cold Steve Austin spent the whole time telling John Moxley how he was half-assing his shit. And I can only hope. Actually, no, forget hope. Our mission, Rolando, is to do what John Moxley did and listen to that shit and become one of the top wrestlers in the world.
All right, so I'm going to tell you why you need to do it. Because you're going to die. I've been talking about this a lot lately because I went through a near-death experience, right? And it's where you're in there, you're in significant pain because they had to put stuff in your veins is sticking out of your body and stuff. And they didn't just plug uh 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 make a port into my vein, they made a port into my artery,
Oof.
right? But in deep in the wrist. So it's just, you know, I almost have PTSD thinking about it. But I'm just saying that pain was so terrible. And I know that I know people who had PEs that are worse than me, than I was. Uh, but it was bad enough to where just before I went to the hospital, just simply getting up out of the bed to walk to the next room, like 5 feet, I couldn't do it. My
Damn.
body was at like 2% power. And it took me a second to get back, but I got back fairly quickly because the decision I had to make was, do you lay down and try to sleep it through, or do you get up and walk it through? And I chose to walk it through because I knew if I laid down, my quality of life was going to be significantly reduced. To say that is that before I went into surgery, I made sure I wrote everybody, my kids, my parents, my friends, community of Afrofuturists. I texted everybody and thanked them and let them know I love them because I wasn't sure that things were going to happen. Now, after that, coming back, the first fight was just getting back to health. Can I actually do the work to book contracts? Can I have the book deals? Can I actually fulfill my contracts? Right. And then it became I've been prepping to stream for a year. I've been buying pieces. My brother and my best friend was just getting on me about, yo, man, you need to do this. You need to do this. Yeah, I'll get to it. And then all of a sudden I was like, my studio it's already a junk pile, but it was real junk pile before. And I realized I had to take control, or because I knew I had received a visceral experience that you could not just die, you could die painfully,
Oof.
right? It's not like sudden, or it's not like it's like you could die painfully. And I look at people who are suffering from cancer. My late godmother died from cancer. That's rough stuff. And I'm fortunate that the vast majority of stuff I've kind of gotten beyond. I mean, I'll be on blood thinners at least till the end of the year, if not longer. But all that to say is, when I started streaming, the intensity of the feeling of we are on borrowed time became more intense. It's because all of a sudden I started streaming. I don't just stream to YouTube. I stream to 2 YouTube channels, 4 Facebook channels, Instagram, LinkedIn. Substack is giving me issues, but I'm trying to go to them. TikTok is weird. I stream all over, and Twitch, of course. And the intent is to disseminate the content because I'm going to freaking die one day. And if I want the things that come from doing work, from people viewing my work, and although I'm sorry, I have to apologize. I'm being a bit disingenuous by jumping down you all's jumping down your throats and stuff. But it's also I'm talking to myself because these are the things
Yeah.
I need to do.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not like, man, I've done it. You guys haven't. No, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
But I am acutely aware of how, as Younger said, uh, people deal with time way too casually, as if it is an infinite resource, and it is not. That's the thing that has occurred to me. And I look at you guys are good guys, good guys. Look, I know people, and I've been one myself, and I will use a little profanity, a little bit, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
There are people in this industry who are assholes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You guys are not that. Maybe your kids might think you are, but they always gonna think that till you die. They can't help themselves. But that you guys have a great concept, a great theme, And I'm not getting on you in the sense of that. I'm just saying that whatever issues you may have, material issues, can ultimately be resolved by the power that you have access to, the resources you have access to.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Basically, no excuse to not move forward in some capacity.
Right. You're gonna, there'll be days where you move fast, there'll be days you move slow.
Right.
It's like there are things I needed to finish 3 years ago. People who paid me, and I got to finish work because it just became overwhelmed. I'm easily overwhelmed, so I have to be very, very careful about how much work I take on. That's why I have people approaching me now, particularly since I've been streaming. Oh, what you doing? Would you sit down for a talk? And it's very flattering, but it's like I most of that stuff I can't take because I've finished the jobs that I'm on, and people who are not just dependent on me, but people have given me, allowed me to live the life I live, particularly as of late. So
Right.
I need to do right by them. And
And
like Frederick Aldama is someone who did it. When I finished that work, we ran out of time. I didn't finish all my artwork. I toned most of it, but I didn't finish all of it. But then when they came around and said, "Hey, we're gonna publish this book," I was like, "Okay, let me have the patience. All right, let's go
Right.
in. Let's put 2 days into it," and I did because I just, just the design of Final Four. Each character has their own unique style and sizing, but I knew I wanted to hit it with that bloom light and that sweat. You know what I mean? To make it look like, yeah, there's these cartoon characters, but there's this hyper realism to it that I enjoy, and I didn't have to draw it. That's the beauty of it. I didn't have to draw it. All I had to do was just tone it and color it. That was fun.
Yeah,
But it's like,
I just want to say real quick. This is that your renderings were the first time in comics that somebody has worked on my art after I've done my part. And I opened the book when it came in the mail. I was like, "Holy crap! This looks awesome!" As an artist, you see your stuff the entire time from the moment
oh,
you begin it to the moment you end. But now, like it gave me a feeling of being more like the comic book artist. He does the pencils, does the inks, and he hands it off, and it was such a cool feeling to open that book and see, and the stuff that I drew, lived on after I stopped drawing it, which was really cool.
well, thank you. Again, I did it because it's got our name on it, guys.
Right?
Some people think that they can, and I get it. Sometimes I wish I was faster. God, I wish I was faster. But whatever it is, whatever speed you're working at, you want to make sure you have an acceptable level of quality. And what is
Right.
quality? Like I always tell people, the most successful comic book on planet Earth is Diary of a Wimpy Kid and
Yep.
Dog Man. This stuff is stick figures. So all those ideas about what we have, what's considered quality, you kind of like have to divorce yourself from it and accept
Right.
that you have your personal level of quality, and that's it. That's really all you have any control of.
Right.
But I knew that I probably would never get a chance to do Luchadorus. I hope I'm pronouncing. I can't. I suck at rolling my R's and stuff. But I would never have another opportunity to do that. So it's like when I did my Dr. Dre comic. I'll never have another opportunity to do a Dr. Dre comic. This gonna be the best Dr. Dre comic ever. And
yeah,
that's the what I said. I'm like, I'm gonna make this guy. I'm gonna take this work, which your stuff is very much in the spirit of the luchador, but it also has this real serious Simpson, kind of traditional Cartoon Network styling, but it's clearly yours. You obviously OD'd a little bit too much on anime, and so I said, okay, this is my opportunity to do that thing that I would never get a chance to do myself. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, it came
and
out great.
Thank
and
you, thank
speaking
you, and
of
I believe it did too. Very proud of it.
you brought up the Dr. Dre comic. can you talk a little bit about something that I really dug, the graphic history of hip hop,
Oh yeah,
that project,
that's yeah.
which that guy is also right here.
Oh, you have that. Okay, good, good. So
Man,
you're the one.
yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, that's a
Yeah,
book I
no,
did with.
I loved it.
Thank you. Thank you. That was written like the stuff that you guys did. Uh, this is a person who knows hip hop culture, hip hop history, and I've been in the hip hop scene in and out as an artist. I'm by nature a square, so I'm, you know, I'm not, and I'm a little bit older, so I was around the hip hop industry. I did illustration work for magazines and periodicals that covered hip hop culture. And I did that. And, when I worked for Marvel, I did a 63 page, fully painted graphic novel. It was never published. So I have experience in that area and doing the graphic history of hip hop when Walter Grayson, the endowed chair at Macalester College
Oh,
in Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota, asked me to come on board as the artist for that book. The intent was to do something that would pay proper respect and homage to the subject matter.
Yeah,
You understand? It's like you guys, I don't give a damn what anyone outside might think. You guys y'all take that wrestling stuff very, very seriously. Like
that
very
is true.
seriously.
That is true.
yes, sir.
To the point where you are sacrificing your body. Yeah, it might be comedic, but
Oh,
no,
it
you could.
hurts. It
Hurts.
Yeah, it
hurts. Yeah,
hurts.
yeah,
So it's like, okay, so I just can't dial it in here because they're gonna know it.
yeah.
They're
Right.
gonna know. You guys gonna know. It's like, yeah, well, no, no. I need you to understand that I respect the fact that you crazy enough to jump off the high bar. You know, you understand what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
it needs
yeah.
to look like that. It needs to
Yeah,
look like that. When that guy's pulling that rope and the guy's floating over, you need to feel that this is like a last second ditch act to
yeah,
avoid like being destroyed. So he just last second and they got that tension on the that's what it's gotta be. So that's what the graphic history of hip hop is. It's a story that talks about history from its inception. There was the floppy that came out here, the Department of Education, New York City, and that came out, and that was over 150,000 copies of that were disseminated directly into the school system. And
Damn.
then Walter and I and our partner Christina got together and formed the Graphic History Company. And we expanded that 24-page comic into a 91-page graphic novel. And we got it done, came out in April of the last year. I'm working now presently on book two, which I
Ooh.
hope to have done very soon. And
right.
can't complain, fellas. What can I tell you?
Yeah, it's great work, man. Just
Thank
as
you.
usual. Now you talked about you're working on the vlogs. Are you able to talk about any of the other projects, the art projects that you're working on right now, or?
Yes, I am. But let me expand a little bit on the online initiatives and
Hmm.
you guys still as much as you need to. So my theory is since like what's the name of your all's company?
It's Five Meets Comics, and this is Realist
Yeah, five.
Graps.
Okay, okay. First of all, y'all got to do something with the origin of that. Y'all have to do something with the origin of the five meats. Most people don't understand where the five meats come. There's five different meats. You got five different qualities. I never forgot it because you ever seen the thing with Robert Mitchum where the guy has the words
Oh, yeah,
on his,
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what that's like. That's how epic that story is, and somehow y'all got to integrate that into your your corporate system, right? But what Five Meats is a media company. You do understand that.
yes, sir.
That's definitely the way
So
things are going. Yeah.
yeah, Five Meats is a media company. Five Meats is a company that publishes comics. It does podcasts. It does wrestling training. So it does all that. Uh, but there are different forms you can choose. You can choose short form. So in my case, I do portraiture. Y'all seen me do portraiture before, and I'll do a 1 minute clip of where I'm talking about somebody. Like I just did one that goes live. I don't know if it go on Alien Earth because I was just goofing around last week because I was tired of doing all these having to do these really dense breakdowns for the comment, and decided, hey, I'm going to take a break, and Alien came out, Alien Earth. And I did a drawing based on Alien Earth. I did my drawing, I toned it up, then I popped in with a little AI and blended stuff together and drawed it, painted, and it's done. And I figured nobody's gonna see this. You know what? I did my audio for Alien Earth. Foxes. Ridley Scott did this, and put it all together. And I have a template set up because I've been doing these things for several years now, and I have it, and that's a 59-second short. The other thing I do is a vlog, and that's my personal vlog where I talk about my life, talk about what I'm doing, like a regular vlog, right? In this case here, I'm doing something where, you know, one was the one I'm working on now. I'm trying to finish editing now, is where I'm talking about my health and talking about how I trying to have my work-life balance work out better, that type of thing, which is important, right? But that'll last anywhere from 7 to 15 minutes. So that's long form vlog, right? And then I have the streaming, the daily streaming that I do. Like I have to get work done. So I'm not creating new material for that. I'm literally, it's like, okay, we're doing breakdowns on the comic, or we're doing breakdowns on the graphic history of hip hop. That's what we're doing. Right? Like tonight, it'll probably be a little bit of graphic history of hip hop, a little bit of the comic, right? Because I got to get stuff done. I got to get it out, right? And I find doing that work, particularly when the content is your actual paid work, creates what I call an accountability loop, right? So, for example, you're putting together a wrestling match in 2 weeks, right?
Right.
You're gonna stream it, right?
Right. Yeah, the company streams the show. Yeah.
Okay, but can you stream it to your channel?
Yeah, I suppose we could.
Get your phone set up, and you're streaming to YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, uh, Facebook, Threads, LinkedIn. That's what you're doing. It's the show. You guys are the show. You do understand you're the on-screen talent.
Yep. Yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying. That's and I'm sorry I keep coming back. He keep going in on us, man. It's not. I'm sorry.
No.
All good.
I see you guys, and I know I said this. I see ka-ching. I've said this to y'all before years ago. I see ka-ching. I see goosebumps. It just happened again. God damn it. So what I'm saying is that's what I see. Ka-ching. Just you gotta go after the ka-ching.
Yeah, that's what the last time we were talking, Rolando went on the last episode. Plus, I did the book signing with Alda Frederick yesterday at First Light Books here in Austin, and I was mentioning how infectious and your what's the word, your drive is, and how that is something that we strive for that matter, is to get the the drive and the what's the word, just the overall confidence to say this is my shit and my shit is good.
All right, so I'm gonna interrupt you.
All right.
It's acting.
Oh well, when you put it like
It's
that,
acting. But see, that's what I'm trying to say. When you're in the ring, you're acting.
yeah.
It's acting.
Okay, I know how to do that.
Yeah, but it's all acting.
Yeah.
It's all acting. Confidence is someone who is assured of their performance. That's all it is. Right? You trained enough, you rehearsed enough. So when you perform, whether in real life or on stage, you either have confidence or you don't. but it's all acting. It's behavior, right?
Yeah, correct.
So that's all it is. I am trying to get myself up to do this work, particularly now, because I get, oh God, if I don't do this, bad things can happen. Really bad things. And if we don't do it, why are we here?
Yeah, that reminds me of I forget who said it, but it might have been Neil Giraffe Tyson, to be honest. He was saying like his love and appreciation for the arts is because science, if he doesn't discover something in science, somebody else will discover it in 10 years. But what a human creates with their art, what we do with our art is something that can't be replicated by somebody else because they're going to do what they're going to do.
Right.
So the art, everybody's art is a completely original byproduct of them, where they grew up and how they are feeling.
Right. Right.
So if you don't do it, that stuff will never come out.
You never get done.
I know I won't go into who she was, but I saw a woman who I love very dearly die of cancer, and she died without finishing the work she wanted to finish.
Oof.
Right? I tried to help to the extent that I could, but when a person is going through that level of pain, there's only they only have so much energy,
Right.
if you will. And so everything is a chore. That's what it is. So I appreciate you all saying what you're saying, but yeah,
Just got to do it.
you are the show. Literally.
And
Well, I mean,
again,
please, guys, ask me back. I promise not to be so overbearing next time.
no, and
next time we'll just talk religion and politics.
Nerves, man. He comes in here
No,
and start harassing us.
No, it goes back to what you said earlier, that you and me and Oscar have talked about this too. You didn't have someone telling you this stuff, and up to this point, we haven't either. So you're the person that's kind of guiding us at this point with this part of our career. Because we've talked about it before. Like, man, you kind of see folks that have kind of had that little guidance and stuff here and there, and unfortunately for us, we've had each other to kind of lean on and stuff, but we've never had someone
that's an advantage. That's an advantage.
But we've never
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But we've never had that, hey, like, this is a good way to do this. I'm seeing you, I see your work, I see what you're capable of, and I think you can do this way. Like, that is the one thing that has escaped us.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, as well, what you did on this show, ladies and gentlemen, to the three people who are listening, what you did on this show is what we were. It's along the lines of actually what we were hoping for you to do, because this is what you did when you had met us. Is something, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It's we do cool shit, and sometimes, honestly, and especially for me, I won't speak for Rolando, but for me, it's like it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to really bring that out and to like accept it and be like, you know what, I do cool shit, and not to wait for other people to go, hey, you do cool shit, So for me personally, I do have a problem with coming out with that, and I was talking to Rolando about it, how you and Aldama have this along the lines of comics. You guys have this power to bring stuff out into people. The way that you guide people, and specifically us in this conversation, it feels very similar to, Aldama had us do this project, but guess what? He had like 12 other people that he was doing the exact same thing with, and then compiled them into a book. And then, that thing that we did, like, I actually kind of forgot about it for a while. And now, oh, look, we got another book under our belt, like, yes, because of, guys like you and guys like Aldama, who they push that, they go that extra mile, and they know what they're after, and they go after it. And I got tremendous respect for you guys. And you know, the hope is to John Moxley it up, right? And take that advice and use it and go forward. And that's all that we can, you know, ask for.
Yeah, I mean, it's that, and you know, life is a wasting. You're gonna die, and I will say this last thing, and we can get ready to break it down. And I think this is always helpful. Nobody cares. I said this to y'all years ago. No one really cares.
Oh man, yeah, you
Nobody cares. I think y'all remember that. Y'all remember that,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
No, nobody cares. Not really. They don't care. You know, your kids care. You know, sorta.
until they don't. That's what I hear.
Until they don't. You know, your spouse cares as long as it's paying bills, but nobody really cares. Fans care, but you got to cultivate fans.
Yeah.
But with fans are fickle. You know, it's like me. I'm the OG Afrofuturist, blah, 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 blah. Let me go another 5 years without releasing a book and watch what happens.
Right.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's physics. It's not fair. It's physics. It has nothing to do with fact. Sorry, guys.
I have a
But
No.
you know, life is beautiful, and there are flowers and all these flowers coming out with the flowers and the sun rays popping out of the buds, and everything is it's fantastic. We live in the world of Star Trek.
Right.
We live in like spaceships and floating cars, and it's amazing.
We are definitely living in the opposite of that world.
Yes.
But Tim,
We're not living in a utopia. We're living in a dystopia. Oh no!
I don't know. We're kind of living in a mootopia now. I don't even know if that makes sense,
but I like that. It's not fair. It's physics. That's definitely something that keeps the lanes of thinking like super clear as far as like what you're doing or what we're doing in this case. But Tim, man, we want to thank you so much for
Yes,
taking the
man, of
time
course.
to come on. And before we go, I just want to, you were talking about all those places where you post your stuff. Can you let us know where to find you?
Yeah, everything under Diesel Funk.
Diesel
Everything
Funk?
at Diesel Funk. Just type it in. The only one I hadn't got yet is the Twitch handle at Diesel Funk, but I'm gonna get it.
Okay.
I'm gonna
All
get
right.
it. But right now it's at Diesel Funk on Twitch. Everywhere else, I need to start streaming on Twitch as well. It's all at Diesel Funk. Facebook
All
at
right.
Diesel Funk. YouTube at Diesel
Instagram.
Funk. Instagram at Diesel Funk. LinkedIn, I think you could search Diesel Funk. It's all there.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much
Final
again,
thing,
Tim. Yeah.
dramatic respect for you guys. I know you were about to
Thank you.
close out the
Oh,
show.
big same, hard
Super
same.
duper respect for you guys. You guys are a team. You guys build and give each other power. Use that power. So proud of you.
Thank you.
Tim.
We
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
so much. Yeah, and it means a lot coming from you, man. We have the utmost respect for you, and again, that's why we wanted to have you on the show to kind of tout some of the folks that we know, some of the connections that we've made through this beautiful art of comics and entertainment, I guess. But again, thank you so much for being on the show, man. We really appreciate you.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure always.
All right, so everybody at Diesel Funk, you can find the incomparable Tim Fielder everywhere there. Be sure you follow us at RLST GRAPS, at RLST _GRAPS. Also, just like Diesel Funk, we're at RLST GRAPS everywhere. And follow 5 Meets Comics, so at 5 Meets. So again, thank you, Tim, for being here. Thank you, Oscar, for being here. And thank you, 3 folks watching at home, for being here. This has been the RLST GRAPS. Peace.